Okay, hey everybody, it's me, Waifu Belector, and we're here again to talk about the long-winded story that is Microsoft's attempt to acquire Activision Blizzard for $69 billion. And a lot has gone on in this saga, and what's taken so long is that certain world governments have to check out and approve such a massive acquisition to make sure it doesn't result in a monopoly or other anti-competitive practices. And one such governing body is the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, or CMA. And the CMA has now moved to outright prevent the Activision acquisition. And this is a huge thing because the UK CMA is not a small entity with little influence. Them saying no to this acquisition is bringing the entire thing to a screeching halt. But Microsoft has already expressed plans to appeal this decision and try to push ahead with the merger. But regardless, because of these events, this merger/acquisition that has already taken a very long time will undoubtedly now take much longer at the very least. And that's in the best case scenario for Microsoft, where the deal actually still goes through. In the worst case scenario, the whole thing just doesn't happen. And the CMA's reasoning for this decision was basically due to the state of cloud gaming, because cloud gaming is new and budding and growing and is presumed by some to be the future of gaming. And Microsoft, with their already established cloud infrastructure, if allowed to acquire Activision Blizzard and titles like Call of Duty as well, would have an anti-competitive near monopoly in the cloud gaming space. That's what the CMA was expressing more or less. So that's kind of what's going on, right? Put into the simplest form I can possibly put it in. But I'm not really here to have an in-depth chat about all the corporate legal goings on. I wouldn't even say that I'm qualified to do so. But what I want to talk about is whether or not Xbox as a brand needs this. Do they need this deal to go through to even stand a chance? Do they need control over Call of Duty? So on and so forth. I mean, we know they want this deal, that much is clear. They want it bad. But do they need it, or will they be alright without it? Because in my last video, I talked about the state of Xbox and even the possibility of them disappearing or transforming in some way. But we didn't talk about how much of their plan might be dependent on the success of this acquisition, We talked about how they want to bolster Game Pass with big name games, and yes, they bought ZeniMax Bethesda so they can have Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, and all that. But the Activision thing is clearly on a different level. I mean, just look at the games. Overwatch, Diablo, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, hell, even Candy Crush Saga is a beast. Adding the Activision Blizzard catalog to the Xbox arsenal is fucking invaluable. So do we think they even have what it takes to fight the good fight if their plans to acquire such a powerhouse end in failure? Because at that point, Xbox's entire plan of attack would have to change. But here's what I think. I think they could do it. I think they could survive and thrive. But just because I think they can, or even if they can, doesn't mean that they will. But I'll tell you why I think this. Because currently, we're seeing a plan where Microsoft and Xbox just throw money at the problem. They go out and buy up valuable IP so they can control it like some sort of big video game Disney. But as they do that, they kind of neglect doing a lot of the first party work. They neglect a lot of franchises that made them Xbox in the first place and refuse to make new ones. Instead, they'd rather go, okay, we bought Activision. Alright, Treyarch or whoever the fuck, make another Call of Duty like you were already gonna do, but now put our name on it. However, now that it's looking like that scenario may not be possible, what should they do? Well, they should do everything they're neglecting. Give attention to what you already have while also trying to build something new to add to it. I mean, you already bought Bethesda, but what's been produced from them even, you know? Where's Wolfenstein 3, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom? Where are they? All we got was Hi-Fi Rush and 2 Arcane games, one of which was exclusive to PS5 for a year. We also know that the Coalition is working on Gears 6, but I'd love to actually hear something about it soon. You know, Halo also clearly wasn't given the love and attention it deserved. I mean, my point is, Xbox needs to nurture what they have and make sure it all comes out good. But not only that, it needs to come out in a timely manner, because that's been a point of criticism for them as well. One noteworthy game a year probably isn't going to cut it for them. And buying or bringing in studios to just do what they were already doing probably won't work either. You should bring them in to nurture them and have them do even better things, bigger things. Look at PlayStation with studios like Housemarque. They were making fucking Resogun. Then they got bought by Sony and got right into a full-blown AAA release with Returnal. That's what Xbox and Microsoft should and could be doing. You know, stuff like Redfall looks fine. It looks like a decent enough game, but an Arcane game with Microsoft backing shouldn't look to be of the same quality of every other Arcane game before it. But that's sadly the case. The problem is Xbox is more concerned with saying they own something than they are in making sure it continues to be worth owning. They aren't even concerned with trying to show their own value through the enhancement of their acquired studios. They want to play idle hero AFK money man so fucking bad that they won't get off their asses to even showcase their own value. And I'm talking about Xbox, not Microsoft as a whole. It just sucks, man, because I really do think if Xbox was just willing to actually put in the effort and put the money into creating rather than acquiring creations, they would be a much more valuable entity in the gaming landscape. Not to mention, we'd get a better and more consistent stream of games out of them. It would be a win-win. And so I wonder and I hold out hope that if this acquisition doesn't go through and Xbox has to rethink a strategy, I hope they think themselves into the possible solution I've provided in this video. You know, I hope they arrive at the same conclusion, because I would prefer that Xbox does well. I like having an Xbox and a PlayStation, but I'd like it more if it felt like it was truly hard to decide which one was the better gaming option, like they were constantly duking it out for my hard-earned gamer hours or whatever. But the current reality is I see no reason to not primarily play on PlayStation and then just boot up the old Xbox once every harvest winter when they finally have something to play. I don't like that. I don't like that setup. I don't like that situation, but that's what's going on. I don't want things to be like this. So I'm always rooting for Xbox. I'm rooting for gaming. And I believe they have the tools to compete with or without the Activision Blizzard acquisition. But whether or not they're willing to put in the effort is a completely different question, with an answer that remains to be seen. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Some of my thoughts about all of this. My thoughts about Xbox. Lots of Xbox talk lately. But anyway, feel free to let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear it. And please subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. Hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to jump in the comments and tell me how stupid and wrong I am about all this. That's your right. But until next time, I am Waifu Belector. I am just a normal guy. I like hentai, and I'd like to play my Xbox. Goodbye.